British Bulldog's my name, wrestling's my game. In tomorrow's Daily Mirror, the amazing secret of my life. It's red hot, so listen good.
In this video, I wanted to talk about the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, professional wrestler. He had a great career as a singles and tag team wrestler. He had stints in Japan, WWF, and WCW. Very prominent throughout the 1980s and into the very early 2000s. But, you know, he didn't always have the most lean physique, but definitely very powerful. And you know, he had a bulky, like, muscular physique. So I'll tell you a little bit about him for those who don't really know. He was born David Smith in Lancashire, England on November 27th of 1962. And he started his professional wrestling career at 15 years old in England. And his name when he started out was Young David. And he started with his cousin, Dynamite Kid Tom Billington, who was just a little bit older than he was. And Davey Boy Smith was discovered by Bruce Hart from the famous Hart family. He was scouting talent in the United Kingdom, and so he discovered Davey Boy Smith there. And then both he and his cousin, Dynamite Kid, they went to train and wrestle for Stu Hart in Calgary, and Stu's promotion in Calgary was Stampede Wrestling. So he wrestled in Stampede Wrestling for a while. He did some stints with New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling. And then in 1984, he and his cousin entered the WWF as the British Bulldogs tag team. They captured the tag titles at WrestleMania 2 in 1986. And he would go on to have a very successful career in WWF. And he had a couple stints in WCW. As I said, he was very successful as a tag and a singles wrestler. A key match in his career, and probably the match he might be most well known for, was his WWF Intercontinental Championship win from Bret Hitman Hart at the 1992 SummerSlam in Wembley Stadium. That, of course, took place in the United Kingdom, so he was a fan favorite there. And he was a two-time WWF European Champion, a one-time WWF Intercontinental Champion, two-time WWF Hardcore Champion, two-time WWF Tag Team Champion, once with his cousin Dynamite Kid, and then once with Owen Hart. He was inducted into the WWF Hall of Fame in 2020. Now, Davey Boy Smith was married to Diana Hart, who was the sister of Bret the Hitman Hart. And he had two children with her, Georgia and Harry. I believe Georgia runs his website. This is where I got the workout from. And then Harry followed in his father's footsteps. He's also a professional wrestler now. Unfortunately, he had on and off again problems with drugs. He had an addiction to painkillers. And then finally, unfortunately, in May of 2002, he ended up having a heart attack while he was on a vacation in British Columbia, and ended up dying. And, he was buried in England. But just a very prominent figure in pro wrestling from the 1980s up until really the time of his death. A part of that whole Hart Foundation that came out of Calgary, Brett, Owen, Davey, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. But like I said, um, also very powerful physique. Now he was only about 5'10", and they build his weight anywhere from 240 to 260, which may have been an exaggeration, but definitely very stout, powerful physique, muscular but not overly lean. Now I found this workout on his website, and like I said, I think his daughter Georgia might be the one that's responsible for it. I'm not 100% sure. Um, and this workout was almost like a hybridization of a 1994 Muscle and Fitness article that featured him um, and his workout routine. And then there was one from 1999 that was posted on the website. It was slightly modified, it wasn't too different. But since they gave me the rep scheme on that one, I went with that rep scheme, which was a 15, 12, 10, and 8, 4 sets for each exercise. But I went more with the exercises from the Muscle and Fitness article. The updated workout wasn't that much different. It just looked a little bit more condensed. So I went with the Muscle and Fitness exercises, but went with the updated rep scheme. So I ended up doing back and biceps together. I usually pair biceps and triceps together, but the website said that he liked to work back and biceps together. So that's what we went with. And now I will actually get into the workout for you. Okay, so let's get into this workout here. As I said, I stacked his back workout with the biceps workout. Now, this is a perfectly fine standalone routine. You don't have to stack these together. You could say if you train just one body part per workout, you could just take these as single workouts. But if you do want to stack them, um, be be my guest. You can actually go on his webpage and find this workout, and you can stack them how you prefer. You know, say if you like working buys and tries together rather than back and buys, or chest and tries together. It's just up to you. But for this workout, they said he liked to work back and buys together, so that's what we went with. Um, let's start with back here. We had wide pull-ups, um, 4 sets. The on each exercise, this is going to be pretty easy to remember. It's going to be 4 sets on each exercise, and the rep scheme you're going with is 15 on the first set, 12 on the second, 10 on the third, and then 8 on the fourth. And that gives you, a good range. You move up in weight. Wide pull-ups, I didn't do any weighted pull-ups or anything like this. I just used body weight. And this was a good warm-up into the back routine. Um, I did, and also got your forearms activated. Um, the second exercise is lat pull downs behind the neck. I am not a fan of doing presses behind the neck. I'm not a fan of doing pull downs behind the neck. I always get a certain degree of shoulder discomfort. I like doing everything from the front, but because the workout called for it, I went ahead and did it, even though it's not my preference. Um, your 4 sets of 15, 12, 10, and 8. So it was fine. I had a little bit of discomfort, but not too bad. Then your third exercise, narrow grip pull downs. So you're kind of just hitting, you're definitely smoking your lats these first 3 exercises. Um, After you get done with your lats, your next exercise, number 4, you could either do a seated one arm cable row or a dumbbell row. There were a good bit of people in front of the dumbbell rack. I went with a seated one arm cable row. I really like this exercise. You feel a good stretch in your lat and in your back, um, and you just keep constant tension on that muscle. And I really like these. And that's one advantage I will say it has over the dumbbell row is just you feel a really good stretch on it. Next, we go to T-bar rows. Um, and I went pretty heavy on these. These were good as well. And then you finish with hyper extensions. And I used, I think the first set I just did body weight, but then I went up. I think I was using like a 40-pound dumbbell and then a 50-pound. I had a really good pump in my lower back from this. Um, and I like the fact that he included something for lower back in the routine. My only gripe is that as soon as I finished back, I moved on to biceps, and my lower back was kind of tight. Um, but let's get into biceps now. Okay, now we move into biceps. As I was saying, at this point in the workout, I've got a pretty decent pump in my lower back from the hyper extensions. That would have been a good way to just finish the day. But as I said, I stacked biceps with it, and I did standing barbell curl. And if I had it to do over again, I probably would have just worked through the biceps, and then I would have thrown the uh, hyper extensions to the very end of the workout because it did affect my standing barbell curl a bit. Um, and then second bicep exercise, uh, alternating dumbbell curl. I did these seated. Um, the third exercise was a lying cable curl. Basically, what you're going to do, you're going to set up like you would at a seated cable row, but instead, you can either use a curl bar attachment or a straight bar. I used a straight bar. You're going to lay down on the bench and you're going to curl that way. And you get a really good stretch in your bicep from these, full range of motion. And of course, you can't use any body momentum. So these are very strict. I really like this exercise. I had done these in the past before, and this is the first time I'd done them again in a while. And it reminded me how much I like doing these. And then you finish the workout with preacher curl. I know here in the picture he's using a machine. I actually did curls with a curl bar on the regular preacher bench, but you could do whichever you prefer. Now, overall, as I said, these workouts, the British Bulldog workout, would be perfectly fine as a standalone. I stack these. I definitely had my work cut out for me. Solid routine. Um, I give it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed working through this one. Um, it's just very cool to see how he trained and everything. As I said, he never had the most lean physique, but he definitely had some impressive muscle mass. He's known as a powerhouse wrestler. A lot of press slams. The running power slam was his finishing maneuver. And you see from that back routine how important it is for wrestlers to build up and take care of their backs because they're always taking bumps. And sadly, that's one of the things that led to his painkiller addiction was he took a bump when he was in WCW on a trap door that was meant for the Ultimate Warrior. So it was like a special adaptation to the ring. He got slammed on that, and um, that's where he claims that his painkiller addiction really got worse. I know Ultimate Warrior, when he was alive, disputed that and said that, he was already messed up. But, I guess we'll never know what's true or what isn't. But it is important to take care of their backs because they are constantly taking bumps. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about Davey Boy Smith. fantastic talent in the ring. You know, he wasn't the best on the mic. And he never achieved, he was one of those wrestlers that never broke out and achieved the world heavyweight title status. But other than that, all around great talent. Fantastic as a tag or a singles wrestler.